Hi guys, straight into part 2 Bergen packing. Okay, there was a little bit of kit I left out of the other pocket. I was using it yesterday for the other video, and that was the foot care. So in this bag I've got some talcum powder, I've got some athlete's foot cream if you suffer with that. I've got some zinc oxide tape, I've got actually 2 rolls, and also I've got some dry zone. And anyone who's after tips on getting some weight in the Bergen, it's things like this. I mean, this is quite heavy, it weighs a few pound. It's a bag of silica gel basically, and I've shown you this on the last video, but it's called dry zone, and these stick in your boots and they dry your boots in about 15-20 minutes. So good bit of kit. Check them out, that's a brand name, so there's probably other companies that do it. And also some foot lotion as well. Okay, so that's basically it for that first pocket. Okay, so I've got the second pocket here, and just to show you the contents. This is to give you a flavour of the kind of thing I carry on the hills, and to give you an idea of what you could pack in your Bergen. There's nothing in here that you can't get hold of yourself, so just have a look. Also, again, as you can see, all individually wrapped and bagged. These are Ortlieb bags. It's the same company that makes the map covers. Okay, again, there's other brands, but this is the brand I rely on. I've been using them since I can remember. You know, as soon as you get a hole in one of these, you want to replace it. But as I say, this is a good brand, so you're probably not going to see a hole in there for a while. Okay, so I've just emptied the second bag. This is where I keep any of my food making equipment, any food itself. And things related to that. So first thing I've got is my jet boil. Now, for those that don't know what these are, it's basically just a cooker. The good thing about these, I won't go into too much detail on this blog, but good thing about these, you can use them on the move to cook your food. You basically you put your burner underneath here, your gas cylinder even. You can put the boil in the bag inside the top here, and basically you light it, obviously put water in for the boiling bag, and you can actually go on the move. There's a little handle there. You can actually walk while it's cooking, and that's why it's a good bit of kit. And it boils water in about 2 minutes. Okay, so inside here I've actually got the gas canister, and it's wrapped up in a sock. Again, no rattles, and it fits perfectly in there. If I look further, I've got a spare canister in another sock. I just use socks because it keeps them padded against knocking on other metal items. And oh yeah, another sock, and inside there I've actually got the stove part of the burner, including the stand. Okay, again, no rattles inside that. I've got a pouch. This is a bit of an emergency kit. So I've got the old flash there to put on the ground for helis to see you if you're stranded or lost. I've also got a spare compass in there. Always carry a spare compass, guys. It'll help you in the long run. So many times I see people with bubbles in the compass. It's not the end of the world, but you're not going to get an accurate reading. Always carry a spare compass, so you could come across someone that needs one. Okay, not that you probably want to give them it, but it makes you look good. Okay, bag, and what I've got in here is a load of spare batteries. Okay, now everyone carries kit with them, whether it's a torch or whatever, GPS. Everyone carries kit with them that requires batteries. Okay, you can't go wrong with spare batteries. Always check them to make sure they're working though. Okay, good bit of kit, and a couple of pound in weight as well. Okay, everyone in the military knows what that is. It's a hexi burner. You can actually probably buy these on eBay now. What I do, I always keep one of these. Back to basics at the end of the day. The jet boil's Gucci and it's great, but if that gets damaged, and they're not squaddy proof, if that gets damaged, then you know you're going back to basics, and at least you've got that. And what I do with this, I tape it up, waterproof it, and put it away. And if that doesn't work, what I've got here is a few tent pegs, and inside this little bag I've got some paraffin blocks. So what you do with this, you put I've got 3 tent pegs here. You put the tent pegs into the ground in a triangle formation. Put the paraffin burners underneath, and your pan on the top, and like the paraffin blocks there, you've got a little makeshift cooker. Okay, so there's always a contingency plan, let's say. Okay, second bag, I've got another field dressing. Okay, as I said before, that can be used as tinder to make fire, to make to cook your food. Got some waterproof matches which have just opened up on me. You can see cotton wool in the bottom there. That's to stop them from rattling. Okay, again, back to basics. I've got a lighter in the front, but you know, don't rely on things like that. Always go back to basics and have them handy. Tissues. Another packet of waterproofed up or bagged up paraffin blocks. It is waterproof in itself to a certain degree, but if water is in contact with paraffin for too long, it makes it go soggy and you won't light it. So keep it waterproofed. I've got a couple of female sticks. Okay, again, tinder. Okay, inside my pair, another sock. As a GPS. One quick one on GPS, it's not a nav lesson, but don't rely on these. Obviously you can use it, put your destination and your location in here and then put it back away. Don't rely on this to navigate, it will let you down at some point. Always know where you are with a map and compass. Okay, I've got 3 boil in the bags. Okay, again, they're a good few pound in weight. What I will say on the food, a few people have asked this: can you carry food as part of your weight? The rule goes: the food you're going to consume, the water you're going to consume, can't be part of your weight. That's not to say you can't use food and water as weight, but you need to tape it up, and tape it up like this. Okay, even though this isn't food, but an example, tape it up so that when we check, we know that that's not consumable. But we do regular weigh-ins anyway, so you're only kidding yourself, because you'll end up with a couple of rocks in there and they don't taste that good, to be honest. Okay, I've got some more tent pegs and they're taped up. Basically they just come in handy for general things. If you need to put a bash up pretty quick, again, makeshift stove, you can use them for all kinds of things. Okay, just handy bits of kit. What I've got here is a pair of secateurs, and I've got a wood saw. Okay, I've taped them both together. So if you need, they can come in handy for anything, and they always go hand in hand. Okay, secateurs for taking off twigs, wood saw for getting into the bark and the actual wood itself. If you want to make a fire, if you want to hide in somewhere to get out the weather, it's just a good bit of kit. And again, no rattles because I've taped them up. I'm not taped them up too tough that you can't get into them. And they weigh at least a pound as well. Okay, so that's everything in that side pouch. So you can see what I've done there. I've got first aid in one, and everything survival in one, and food making equipment, and anything relative to that or relevant to that in the other pouch. Okay, so that leaves the actual Bergen itself. Okay, one thing I will say on the Bergen is I mentioned about the straps. Make sure you basically tape the straps up and make sure you know where things are on the Bergen. I'll quickly, in fact, show you what's in the front pouch here. Okay, again, making sure that you've got things you need most frequently at the extremities of your Bergen that you can get to easily. Okay, so again, another waterproof bag. In here I've got straight away, first things you need, hat and gloves. And it helps as well, you know, if you're in a team, you don't even have to take your Bergen off. You can get your Oppos out for him and he can get yours out. So you can do this on the move. Okay, hat and gloves. Balaclava. Okay, that again, you know, in the UK, even in the UK, you can get to places where it is sub-zero temperatures. Doesn't even have to be in the winter. When you're going high, the air pressure changes and it can get really cold with the wind. Good balaclava protects your face. Okay, I've got a battery pack for your phone. It's an important bit of kit. Obviously, you know, phones haven't been around for that long, mobile phones in that, I should say. But they are around now and people tend to actually depend on them. And it helps the mountain rescue and emergency services to find you as well. A good tip, always keep when you're out on the hills, always turn your phone, go into settings and turn your location on. That's a good way the mountain rescue can find you. And as I say, keep that topped up and keep it with you, and remember the cable, which is there. Okay, another balaclava. Gerber in the front, head torch with spare batteries in the back that I've shown you. And also inside here I've got a small blade, small folded knife, and a lighter with cord. Okay, the reason I put cord on nearly everything, it's not because I'm like a child and lose things. It's so I can actually attach them. In the winter I usually attach these all to my jacket. It just makes it a lot easier. If I'm pulling stuff out, it's not going to fall on the floor. I have to I lose it in mud, or it gets, you know, it becomes unfunctional because it's being wet. It's all attached to you, so I just keep cord on things. So basically that's just one of the typical lighters you can buy, which you can upside down in the wind and everything. That's always just kept inside my Bergen. Okay, and as I say, waterproof matches as a backup. So that's the front pouch. You can see how everything's being modular. I can take everything off. Even inside, I can take that bag out with the kit in it and go with that as well. So inside the main pouch then, you can see at the top I've got a carabiner attached here. Okay, I'm not going to go rock climbing or anything. That's just, for me, that is just an emergency bit of kit. It's attached to a loop line, which is inside here. I'll just lift the top up. And here's my loop line. Basically, if I get caught out anywhere and I want to, obviously with a heavy Bergen like this, it's happened to me once up on Snowd, in actually Trifan when I was up there. The weather came in and the rocks were slippy as hell. I didn't want to lose balance with my Bergen, so I basically attached the Bergen with the carabiner. It's already attached at this end, the carabiner, and lowered my Bergen down to a safe level and climbed down myself. Okay, it's little things like that. You don't need this loop line. This is military issue loop line. You can actually obviously buy rope as well, the same kind of thing. It's just nice to have that an attachment on there. It also helps if you've got a group and you the mist comes in and you can't see your hand in front of your face. This is about 20 foot. You can pass that to your team and everyone holds it, so everyone's walking in a line. You're not going to get anyone lost in your group. Okay, good bit of kit. Okay, people were talking about camelbacks before. This is a 3 litre camelback. I have this attached to inside my Bergen. Now, as I was saying on an earlier post, it's up to you how you attach your camelback. As I say, this is 3 litres. It's got a covering which keeps you cold, keeps your water cold in the heat, and stops it from freezing in the cold. Okay, typical, just a normal water reservoir carrier. Camelback is the brand. There's other brands. I like this brand. I rely on it. It carries up to 3 litres, which is really what you want to be carrying for the load bearing guys amongst you. And I carry this horizontal, but what I do is I take a little bit of water and lift it so it's actually inclined on one side, and keep it like that. You can either do that or put an extra bit of kit in your Bergen so it's inclined in that way, because if you have it like that, you're going to come to a point where you're going to run out before it's actually finished. So have a little bit extra or something to bump up your kit that way, like that. That's just a little tip. Other than that, you can hold it vertically. I wouldn't have these held on the outside. If you come across barbed wire, even though this might protect it, anything goes and punches that, you're losing 3 litres of water basically. That said, always try and carry at least a spare litre of water somewhere in your Bergen. If not, a water carrier with some water purifying tablets, which you should carry anyway in an emergency. Okay, inside the Bergen, you can see it's another Bergen liner. First thing you're going to need if you're going into your Bergen, or probably, is a warm jacket to put on. If you're going into your Bergen, that means you've stopped. Warm jacket at the top, shove that on first thing. Okay, underneath that, it's fell out with it. I've got another fleece jacket as well, fleece top. straight away, spare clothing. Inside here, there's a set of bottoms, underwear, and a top. Okay, and a pair of socks. Spare clothing, kept dry in a separate waterproof bag inside the main waterproof proof carrier. A second set of dry kit. If you see someone going down, you can pass that to them. You've still got a set yourself. I always carry 2 sets. Poncho with bungees mixed in and tent pegs inside as well. If I'm stuck or someone needs help, I can shelter them straight away. Ready-made poncho with bungees and tent pegs inside, already fastened to the outer edges and corners. Okay, quite important. And then last but not least, I won't take it all the way out because it's a nightmare to get all the way back in, is my sleeping bag, and I've got a Gore-Tex liner on the sleeping bag. Okay, I'm going to end this here, and I'll put a third and final post very shortly. See you soon.